400 games to the greatest Collingwood player, in my opinion, to ever do it, a modern day great, Scotty Pendlebury. Incredible. So this weekend against Carlton, Scott Pendlebury raises the bat, 400 games. Just an elite few people have done this in the AFL community. He'll be the sixth person in the history of the Football League to do this feat, to get here. And that's 19 seasons. That is absolutely, it's just bewildering. Like he got drafted in 2005, and that's when I started year 7 in 2005. I'm 32 now, been out of school for 2024. I've been out of school for 14 years, and he's still going. Like, how is that a thing that's still happening? It's just, his longevity has just been second to none, and his ultimate professionalism has been second to none. I've never seen a football player do what he can do, like on and off the field. And you know, you hear it from like Buckley and every other player that sort of played with him, and his preparation, what he does off the field to prepare his body. He's even said it, like he doesn't really, go out because he's got, all of his recovery that he has to do, the hot and cold saunas, the hot and cold spas, all of these things. He's the ultimate professional, and just, we talk about role models in football, and Scott Pendlebury is the ultimate role model, and someone every kid should look up to, because what he's done in nearly 20 years of football is just, I don't know, like I say insane, I say incredible, because I don't have the vocabulary to express what an amazing feat he has done. When I was thinking about what I wanted to do with a video, talking about Pendles and sort of showcasing his history, I was really stumped, because there's 399 games to go through, and there's so many achievements which I'll read out soon, and it just, I'm lost for words. And you know that when I'm doing these videos, I'm not really writing anything out or practicing, and they're just all off the top of my head. And probably this one, I did write a couple of things down about Scott that I wanted to sort of say. But personally, like I said, Scott Pendlebury got drafted when I was in year 7, when I started in year 7, and he has been, it's weird to say, but he's kind of been like family. You know him as well as your sort of family, and I've grown up with him since year 7. So what's year 7? You're 13 in year 7 or something? 12 maybe? 13? 14? Anyway, it's year 7. So I've grown up with him, and he's still playing the game. I've watched him win premierships. I've watched him, break his leg. I've watched him up close and personal at the MCG, grand finals and dominating finals. And it makes you so proud to have grown up with him, and new sort of supporters are seeing his final sort of years, but there's obviously the older supporters that have sort of seen him from day dot to now, and his growth and his pure football IQ. We talk about how he's the smartest player going around, and we talk about how he's a coach on the field, and how he wants to better himself and better the club. A one club player, 400 games, one club player. He went on to say last year, when he signed a contract extension for this year, for 2024, he said, I want to keep playing and I love what Fly's doing, but he also wants to help the coaching group get the best out of the squad. So he's going to be, when he retires, and I hope that he never retires, but when he does, he's going to be such an amazing coach to whoever team he goes to. And I don't know if it will be the Pies. I would love him at the Pies. I don't know if it will be. But he is going to be an incredible coach, because not only is he an incredible player, and we know that sometimes incredible players don't make incredible coaches, but he is an incredible coach on field. And we missed that this season when he was out for a little bit. And all you have to do is look back to that last quarter in the grand final last year, and the way he was conducting the troops. You know what he said to Nick Dacos is like, "Don't you want to be a part of this?" And setting up the players, and he knew what the coaches wanted to do. That was the best quarter performance of Scott Pendlebury's career. And there's so many other games statistically that he's been better. And there was a Western Bulldogs game in 2017 that he was fantastic in. And there's all these little games, and he's just I just can't understand the longevity of him. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So you should definitely check out, if you want a full sort of overview of his career that goes a little bit more in depth than just me, with some talking points and my feelings about Scotty and stuff. Check out Pies Footy's doco on Pendle. I think it's from when he's drafted to sort of now, and it goes through it all. So that was a really good watch. That's on their YouTube channel. So it's going to be more in depth than what I'm talking about and my feelings and stuff like that. So definitely go check them out. But look, I wanted to give you a couple of points. So drafted with pick 5 in 2005. So that was the same draft that we took. Dale Thomas with. So we had a priority pick. We take Dale Thomas first, and then we pick up Scott Pendlebury. So I want to read this quote out from his under-18 coach, Paul Hudson. He once described Scott Pendlebury as the Mark Waugh of footy because he's got a lot of time, even though he isn't quick. And that one statement from his under-18 coach is it just followed him throughout his whole career. Yeah, he doesn't have the pace, but he has the IQ. He can slow down time. Mick Potter says, he's one of those players where he can stop everything around him and just sort everything out. So Paul Hudson probably didn't know it back at the time. He actually did know it back at the time then, that's what Pendlebury would be able to do for 19, nearly 20 years of football. Just slow down time, not the quickest, but definitely the smartest with ball in hand. So his first preseason, he had glandular fever. He debuted halfway through the season. And what I love about that is that he debuted in the number 16 jersey. So he only wore that for one season. Number 10 at the time was worn by Blake Caruso. We'll get a little bit about it into his debut in a little bit. But he joined the first goal club. And of course, his first goal came from a kick from Nathan Buckley, who would go on to coach him. Unfortunately, the losing grand final, stuff like that. In his second year, so in 2007, he came second in the Copeland Trophy to Travis Cloke in his second year. Insane. And then in that second year, he came second by 7 points in the Rising Star to Joel Selwood. Joel Selwood, another incredible player. So he comes second to Joel Selwood. Get this. Since his debut in 2006, there have been 136 Pies debutants. And since his debut in 2006, there have been 1,660 AFL players debut. Insane! How is that? In over 1,500 players have debuted since Scott Pendlebury debuted 19 years ago, and 136 Pies players, which is just, it's just dumbfounding. And that says a lot to the longevity of Scott Pendlebury and his career. A 6-time All-Australian player. Between 2010 and 2014, he had the All-Australian 5 times in a row. Then again in 2019, a 5-time Copeland Trophy winner, 2-time AFL Players Association Best Captain, Best Young Player, 3 Anzac Day medals, 2-time Premiership Captain, 2010, 2013, a Norm Smith medal in the 2010 replay, because you got to remember that in the 2010, in that first game, he actually had gastro and lost like 6 kilos or something insane like that, and then he comes back and just absolutely smashes it in the replay. Collingwood captain 2014 to 2020. Most Collingwood games ever played. So before Scott Pendlebury and Steele got over 300 games, there was only 2 players since our debut in 1897 that have played over 300 games. Gordon Coventry and Tony Shaw. And now there's 4, and Scott Pendlebury is about to hit 400, which has never happened in Collingwood history. And that is nothing to scoff at. That is absolutely amazing. So now I want to go over his milestone games from his debut to his 350th. So in his debut, we played the Lions and we won that. In his 50th game, we played the Saints. We won that as well. 100th game, we won that as well against the Cats. 150th game, another win against the Blues. Suns, the 200th game, another win against the Suns. 250th game was his first celebratory game with a loss, and lo and behold, it comes against the Hawks, who he has the worst win rate against because Hawthorn absolutely loves smashing us. 300th game, a win against the Cats. 314th game, which took him over over Tony Shaw as the most games played as a Collingwood player. We lost that to Port Adelaide. And his 350th game against the Crows was a win. So out of the 9 celebratory games that he has had, 7 have been wins. So this game against Carlton will be the 10th celebratory game, and Carlton absolutely love to shit on our celebrations. They've played us in multiple games where we've been celebrating something, and they always seem to beat us. So we have an extra incentive to win this for Scott Pendlebury, and they have an extra incentive to win this to ruin their celebrations. I do want to get back, just as I said before, to that debut game against the Lions, because it was one of the debut of Scott Pendlebury, and it was saying goodbye to Blake Caruso as well. Now, why is this important in a Scott Pendlebury video? So Blake Caruso played his last game against the Lions where he had that neck injury. It was, if you remember it, it was devastating. The stretcher came out. It looked like he was convulsing on the floor. Absolutely heartbreaking. So that was Blake Caruso's last game in the AFL, and obviously for Collingwood. Blake Caruso was wearing the number 10 jersey. Scott Pendlebury was debuted in the number 16 jersey. The next year, when Blake Caruso retired, Scott Pendlebury got the number 10 jersey, and Scott gave the number 16 jersey to Nathan Brown. And that was it. That was the birth of the number 10 jersey, which is another like little tidbit. And who would have thought that on his debut, the player that he would get the jersey off was the player was playing his last game in Scott Pendlebury's debut. Pendlebury averages 21 games a season. And again, I'll keep saying the word longevity because that's what it is. You know, you don't get the most disposals, the most tackles, the most handballs, the most uncontested possessions from just playing 6 games a year and not playing for 20 years. He's second in goal assists. He's second in clearances. He demonstrates the ability to just keep going. Like, I don't remember a bad Scott Pendlebury game. And yes, he would have had low Pendles games, but in the 399 games that he's played, he's always played at the top level that he can. And he's always tried to will us over the line. And I hope that one day we are talking about, not I hope, I think we will be talking about Scott Pendlebury as a Hall of Famer, as a legend of this game. Because who knows, he might end up going on to break Brent Harvey's ultimate games record in 2026 if he plays on to 2026 injury-free and stuff like that. So it has been a joy to watch Scott Pendlebury go about it for the last 19 years of my life. So now I just want to thank Scott for some of the best Collingwood years that I've ever seen, as the best Collingwood player, as an incredible AFL representative, what he's done for this game, what he has been able to show the young kids coming through.
Really is tense. He's jammed it.
We go into Saturday's game to celebrate the greatest Magpie to ever do it. I'm so happy that he got his second premiership last season, and you know he signed on for 2025, so we get to have him for another year. And I know that's so selfish, but we get to see him go around at least one more time. He is the ultimate professional. Amazing to watch. He is our quarterback. That's exactly what it is. He is our quarterback. He is our Tom Brady, if you will. So Scott, thank you for everything. Thank you for the memories. Happy 400th.